Hey, what's going on? We want to give a shout out to our sponsors, By the Way Coffee. And by the way, I really like their coffee. Yes.
Let's go. Today we have one of the biggest stars in the heavyweight division, Mr. Jarrell Miller. How you doing?
Big baby Jarrell Miller.
Big baby Jarrell Miller, yeah.
That's how the guy of war, you know what I mean?
All right. Appreciate it, man. Welcome to the show, bro.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks for coming, man. So how was Saudi so far, man?
Man, it's beautiful, man. It's definitely a breath of fresh air compared to what we hear about a lot of things in the Middle East, you know, and you know how propaganda and media works in the U.S., man. They try to deter us from traveling. If it's not going to Haiti or going to Africa, if we're going to the Middle East, they know that, you know, I love my country, don't get it wrong, but I do not have the ideology of what the government is doing to our people, you know what I mean? No matter what race we are. But traveling, you know, it's beautiful to see what's going on over here. And I'm glad I'm able to experience it now and hopefully be a bigger part of it in the growth here in Saudi.
It's your first time here, right?
Yeah, first time.
First time in Riyadh, yeah?
First time.
How you finding it? The culture, the people, the food?
No, it's beautiful. The food is great. You know, it's so funny. I almost say it's a little off, but I go to the bathroom every like 2 hours. The food is just, because it's healthy. It's just going right through me, you know what I mean? So that means that, you know, it's not processed, less chemical, whatever's going on here. So it's great, man. It's a great feeling, man. And I like
you took him smoky, right?
Yeah, he been to smoky a few times, bro.
That's probably 4 times. You know?
Heavyweights don't make weight, so they get you what they want, I guess.
You know, that's just true, but I do try to watch my figure now.
Real talk.
Yeah.
So I wanted to ask you then, maybe Mutar can jump in. So like, how did the fight come about? Obviously, this is one of the biggest cards ever in terms of the number of stars on here.
Correct.
So how did it happen? How did it materialize?
Well, I know when Tyson was fighting Francis Ngannou, they were talking about him being the main event for this card.
Yeah.
But because he looked so great against Francis Ngannou, the last card they had in Saudi, they kind of scrapped it and said, you know what, we'll push that fight back to give, you know, Tyson some time, Usyk some time, but the Saudis still wanted to have a show. So let's go through an all heavyweight card, but who are the biggest and brightest stars they can get? And you know, my name was brought up, and I said, listen, I'm ready to you know, fight anybody. Just give me a name.
Yeah.
The first name they gave me was Derek Chisora. You know, he's a little over the hill now, but I'm a fan of him. He's
the press conference was been crazy.
Yeah, Derek a little crazy.
Yeah, I like it, you know. And you know, he's rugged and you know he comes to fight. But you know, as soon as they told me, I hit him up like, yo, D, we fighting? He said. So I know when he told me that, I know that wasn't gonna happen. So
he wasn't with it.
That Chisora's not ready for it. He doesn't want that fight right now. So they said no, Joseph Parker and Dubois might not happen because Dubois is scared of Joseph Parker's movement and he don't want somebody that moves. I'm like, that's the reason why he won't fight Joseph Parker. So I'm like, he's a punk. I said, let me know. So they hit me back and they said, yo, Dubois wants to fight. I said, what? So I told my team when I told them about this, like, there's no way. I said, bro, I think he wants it. So I was like, yo, just give me the contract.
No hesitation.
No hesitation.
You seen him fight, right?
Bro. I seen his last fight
against Usyk. He knocked him down. Or like,
what do you think about that? They said it was low blow. Do you think it was?
I mean, listen, it was a good body shot. Yeah. But based on the the rules, it was a little low because it was on a little bit below the belt line. So yes, it can go either way. But in boxing, not every call is gonna get the right call, especially when it's an active fight. So as a fighter, you have to know you have 12 rounds. That body shot happened, I think, in the 5th or the 6th round. It's a 12-round fight. You got 6 more rounds to do it again. And in my mind, say, you know what? Then they give it to me, I'm gonna go get it again. And that's the kind of killer instinct you have to have. That sometimes the first shot around, it might not happen for you, but I'm gonna keep pushing. That's being a fighter, bro. You can't just quit and get mentally deterred because it didn't go your way, you know, in the middle of the fight.
So you think he kind of gave up after that?
Oh yeah, most definitely. It definitely broke his courage and his momentum. And you know, you can see the fight kind of change from there. And it gave Usyk a little break to breathe to and kind of readjust himself. But regardless, he got knocked out with a jab. That's like, it's crazy.
You're giving him a hard time. I seen your Instagram, so there's a few questions about this. So what happened yesterday? You saw him.
Oh yeah, you know, he's been. I guess people's really trying to push him to be a little more vocal. You know, he's been more vocal in this fight than the other fights so far that I've seen. You know, no one's really trying to sell a fight, but you know me, I'm always talking crap. You know what I mean? It's not me just selling a fight. That's how I just am. It don't matter if it's in a boxing ring or a street or we playing tennis or whatever. I'm always talking junk. You know what I mean? So it's not for show. This is how I grew up. You know, so I'm gonna talk to you regardless. And when I seen him, I just couldn't help it. I'm like, you damn shrimp, you quitter. I call him 2-time quitter. You know what I mean?
Wow.
Because of the Joyce fight, right?
Yeah. So it's gonna be fun, man. It's gonna be fun.
How's your preparation been for the fight? Like,
preparation been great. You know, we got some decent sparring in, not as much as I would like, but we got some good sparring in. We got a lot of pad work and footwork. Went back to the basics. You know, you know, I've been back and forth to South Florida a lot. My last 2 years went through like a bad breakup. Had kind of reevaluate my life.
Yeah.
But I had to go back to the basics, back in Flatbush in my old neighborhood with my head coach, Sosa. And we just kind of grinded out, man. Just like, we're going back to the basics. Body shots, head movement, leg, footwork movement. Just, basic stuff that I know that a lot of most big guys can't do. You know what I mean? So it's going to be a fun fight. It's going to be like, this big baby can really move, man. So I can't wait.
We looking forward to that, man.
It's going to be crazy.
Fireworks.
So from Brooklyn, man. So, what's your age, you don't mind?
34.
34. I'm 46. So in the
you look upset about it.
In the 90s, we was in the midst of the East Coast, West Coast
wars. Yeah.
Mainly, I would say from Brooklyn. Going against basically death row bad boy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But Brooklyn name was a major player in the game because you had people like Biggie. You had people like, you have a lot of legends that came out of Brooklyn. Michael Jordan is from Brooklyn, by the way. A lot of people don't know that.
Jay-Z.
You got Jay-Z, you got Tyson. Pac was born in the Bronx, or Harlem, one of them. You know what I mean? So in the mix, what was your age around the 90s and the East Coast, West Coast? How did you take it?
I was in tune with it a lot because, a lot of my cousins were DJs and some of us, I started rapping later on, but, I know
you was
96,
rapping.
I was rapping, we was beatboxing throughout all high school, junior high school, elementary. Like my favorite rapper always been DMX, but as I got older, my brother put me on the Tupac and the Biggie stuff. And he's Jamaican, so he was like, that Tupac thing, bet you, and as a real gangster. And so when you start really studying the culture, it's like, this is really bigger than what hip hop really, is now. Like, I think it's all show now. Back then, it was like really like a cultural thing. It was really always about the money. It was like, really like, you step to me, we gonna step to you, and I loved it.
But the good thing, the reason I mentioned Brooklyn because when the midst of the East Coast, West Coast, Pac reach out to they legends from your city, Black Moon, Young Buck, the original one from Brooklyn. Smith & Wesson, Helter Skelter.
Correct.
So Pac reached out to these artists from New York because he wanted to show the world that it wasn't an East Coast, West Coast beat. So he reached out to them, brought them to LA, and we became family. Even to this day, we in contact. And I believe they might be from Flatbush. I'm not sure the exact area because Brooklyn is kind of,
Smith & Wesson,
you know what I mean?
Brooklyn. I'm not too sure what part.
Yeah, but they from Brooklyn. So in the midst of it, we was able to, we went from thinking that everybody in Brooklyn against Pac to me some Brooklyn dudes that was to this day they family.
New York love Tupac.
And Pac loved New York.
That was like propaganda with trying to sell records and
for sure,
media label trying to twist things. But anybody go to New York, man, they always gonna say we love Tupac.
Where Tyson from?
Tyson from Brooklyn. Right?
Brownsville,
a lot of legends came out of Brooklyn.
Riddick Bowe, Brownsville, best style. Shannon Briggs, Brownsville, best style.
Tyson and Pac were friends too as well. So
Tyson.
Speaking of Tyson, so yesterday the kind of incident, was that at the Tyson gym? Is that's where you guys are training or?
Oh yeah, I was training in the Tyson gym, but the incident that happened in the gym. It happened in the hotel.
But you guys all in the same hotel?
No.
They
separated. They got Deontay, AJ, and Daniel Dubois at a different hotel.
Okay.
They security told me from the jump, if anybody gonna start something, it's gonna be you.
So
we gotta keep eyes on you. I started laughing about. I said, "Damn right, being P's and Q's, I ain't taking no bullshit."
What's the gym like though? Because I don't know if it's open to the public now, but it's just open now.
They just opened. They're doing like a soft opening right now. They're building their classes up. I could definitely go over there and get some information and stuff. Like Tyson Club, great spot, great atmosphere.
Good place to train.
Yeah, good guys.
Nice. And then also speaking of running, so we saw the AJ one. That's probably more viral. What happened with that? Like, what did you say?
I heard he was in the building. He looked over me and again said something. So I jumped out of my chair and I'm like, you softer than baby. Typical me type stuff. But we both got our own agenda we have to handle on Saturday. So I ain't really pushed the envelope too much. I let him know I still think you were. You came to America, got your ass whooped, and never came back.
Wow.
Where I was gonna ask you, where did the animosity come from? Because obviously you saw the press conference in like 2019. Even that was quite, tense. Like, where does it stem from?
I just don't like him. You gotta understand, right? Outside of boxing, it's all copacetic. We cool. We chill. You know what I mean? But when it comes to this, if you the man in front of me, I want to run you over. You know what I mean? So, I just got this chip on my shoulder about him. I just don't like him. So
it's a boxing mentality, though.
And I'd rather me be real than me be fake and say, I'm cool with you. Like, he like to do a lot of fake stuff. Like, he'll say to other fighters, and then behind closed doors, we're here interviews and stuff, and people tell me, like, he's saying this, that, but like, why are you trying to be so friendly in front of people's faces? So for me, I'm not like that. If I don't like you in your face, I don't like you behind your back. Kiss my
It was tense, bro. You see it that they face to face. I'm like,
I seen it, bro. I was like, oh man.
You know what I mean? So That's always going.
Nah, but boxing is a man's sport. Boxing is a mental sport. You know what I mean? And you got to, if you break them mentally from the beginning, they're gonna lose in the ring.
That's it. And,
I
was the first one to smell it on him.
Yeah,
I was one of the first one that break him. From the time I pushed him, and Eddie Ruiz got in his ass. You know what I mean? So that's just day one. He's never been the same. And
why do you think that is, man? That's an interesting point. Like, why is that? Why is that one fight?
Because I'm good at reading people, bro.
Yeah.
I don't know. I have certain gifts that I wish that I would hone in a lot more better, but I'm good at reading people. You know what I mean? And from the time I started watching his interviews, I think it was Coogan Cassidy that brought his name up to me in Vegas a couple years ago. Yeah. I never knew who he was. And then I Googled him, and I got obsessed with watching all his interviews because he was Olympian. Then I watched all Olympic fights. Yeah. And they gave him 2 fights in Olympics, and he really lost in London. And he fought in London's hometown, and they gave him the gold medal. So I'm like, they give this guy too much. Like, why is this? He's a good fighter, but he's not super great. Yeah. I'm like, all right. This is the guy I'm going to aim at. And he kept on winning. I'm like, I'm coming for his head. So it was him and Deontay. And Deontay said 3 times he would never fight me and blah, blah, blah. So when he got the belt, I'm like, I'm aiming for him now. You know, and then when Tyson came back in the picture, I'm aiming for Tyson. So whoever has the belt, that's who I'm aiming for.
That's who you're going for.
You're going for it. That means you ain't ducking. You want
I ain't
smoke.
ducking
That's
nobody.
how boxing should be. We grew up with that type of boxing.
Correct.
You know what I mean? That's how it should be.
Don't get it messed up, though. I'm obsessed with kicking his ass, though. You know what I mean? Like, that got to happen one of these days.
That's going to happen soon. Let's say, hopefully, inshallah, you guys win. At what point could that happen?
Hopefully he win.
So at what point could that happen? Could that happen in 2024?
I think it could definitely happen in 2024. You got to think about it, right? You got to look at the playing field, right? Yeah. We're all around the same age. They all have losses. I'm undefeated. Yeah. And I took my 2-year, 3-year break off. So the thing about it is AJ wins this one. The only 2-3 people that anybody really want to fight, it'll be Deontay. Tyson Fury's going to be locked in probably most of next year with an Usyk fight and a rematch probably. Yeah. So the only top guys that they can really sell to is either going to be me or maybe if the Dylan White fight still comes through. You know what I mean? It's not a lot of fights for him to really be like, all right, cool, it's going to be a blockbuster.
Yeah, that's really true.
You know what I mean?
Who else can he fight besides?
But they're saying Joshua Wilder March 9th, right? So
yeah, it's not signed. That fight's not happening.
It's not okay.
It's not
you don't think it's happening?
Nah, not yet.
Who you got in that fight though? I know who Mata got, but who you got? Joshua Wilder when they fight?
Oh, Wilder.
Yeah, I think Wilder.
I think Wilder. Cause Wilder's is not gonna get hit for the first couple rounds, I believe. But once he let that go, man, it's gonna be lights out. Yeah. And like I said, AJ's been hit by smaller guys, and it affects him. And Wilder's one of them guys. Like if he knows you're hurt, he jumps on you. Like he doesn't. Even though he's sloppy, he's wailing for the fences, bro. And
he start throwing them bombs.
Bro. Some of the punches.
But you know what? Like a lot of people say, because I seen all 3 of the fights between Tyson and Wilder. Yeah. And Tyson, bro, it just throw us off because he don't even look like a boxer. Yeah. You know what I mean? But the guy, what would you say about his skills? Like, do you think why do you think he winning? Is it the height? Is it the weight?
No, I think it's his mentality. Yeah. You know, his mentality. It's not even about the height because, tall guys get knocked out by Deontay before. Yeah. I think it's his mentality. He went in there and said, yo, if I die, I die. Let's just fight it out. And then he realized that, the first fight, he didn't really train that hard. He told me, he's like, I wasn't training, I was partying, and I got a draw. So if I take it serious the second fight, I'm going to go in there and look what he did. He took it serious and he stopped the guy. Tyson is his mentality, he's durable. He does have even though he gets dropped, anytime he gets dropped, he comes back, though. He's a good chin. And he's a fighter. And the thing about, too, he's relaxed. The thing about a lot of fighters you understand is that when you get to the championship level, the big fights, you got to learn how to relax. You can't be tense and be mad. Like, if you look at a lot of my fights, I'm not hitting guys with full power, 90%. I'm just pat touching you, having fun, and they're talking my shit, So it's about relaxing as you get older. A lot of guys don't have that.
How you think the Usyk fight with him? That's in February, I guess, right? February 17th.
What do you think about that fight?
I'm still pushing for Tyson on that one, only because he's bigger. I think he's gonna step up to the occasion as in the championship fight like that. Usyk has a problem with bigger guys. He came back and fought the Witherspoon after 5 years layoff, fought Chisora, didn't look that great. So he's fighting a big guy who is a champion, who comes to fight, can get mean, can get dirty, can lay on you. So I think Tyson's is going to be too much for him.
I think the Fury and Ngannou fight was close.
It was very close. It was very close.
I thought Ngannou, whatever his name.
Ngannou, bro.
I always mess the name up, but I thought he won, though, bro.
Yeah, I mean, listen, if you're looking from a boxing standpoint, Tyson won. Yeah. The problem is he fought a non-boxer that did way beyond our expectations. In many cases, Francis won. Because of the day, you're not a boxer, you make $10 million, and you fought the champion and made him look like so yes, in retrospective, yes, French Ngannou did win,
Yeah.
but in boxing terminology, Tyson won.
I think because of that, people now are siding more with Usyk. Or I think people still expect Fury to win because of the size difference and the weight and stuff. But that'd be a good fight, inshallah.
Yeah.
One thing I wanted to ask you about was the incident with Eddie Hearn. I know people asked you this like 100 times, but it'd be good for us to know. Like, what happened with this?
Me and Eddie, we have like a hate-love relationship at this point. It's like it's like two distant cousins that just can't get along all the time. We try to falling out, or we see each other as like freaking balls, but it's like we laugh about it now. And and we've been talking lately, and basically what I can say is, he's an asshole and he is a hypocrite. He does backtrack a lot of what he says in interviews sometimes. He switches up on you. But somebody can't be a complete asshole because, he does pay well, he does pay on time, and he does honor his contract. So one thing I can say about that, he's a good business guy.
He's an honorable guy. That's good.
You know what I mean? There's certain things on interviews that I didn't respect, and, I kind of pressed him about that. But I know we laughed about it, you know what I mean? And we're both men.
Oh, yeah? You spoke since the day?
Oh, we've been texting and talking, man. So I feel like, like sometimes somebody says I can't remember the saying. It says if you're arguing with somebody, where logic or emotions is, sometimes time will heal. You know what I mean? So I feel like, he was emotional with the whole situation. Instead of him using logic, like he's supposed to be a businessman, he went into emotional and he said some things that were hurtful. And I would say some things to him, like kiss my I'll deal with it later on. But I feel now time has passed, I'm more mature now, and I kind of see things for what it is. That's how he handled his stuff. He's not a fighter. He can't get physical or let it out. So his thing is opening his mouth.
They said he was shook, but he looked all right, to be fair to him. Kind of.
No, it was cool. I mean, like I said, I can be intimidating at times, but I do it in a way where it's like, it's not like I'm trying to scare you. It's more like, you're a punk.
You want to get your point across.
That shit is, if I'm trying to scare you, you ain't even going to know what's going to come.
Is it what you felt let down because he kind of bucked Conor and Dylan and...
Yeah, most definitely, because my thing is this, like, those guys actually fell for things for actual steroids. You know what I'm trying to say? And that's what hurt, because what I fell for was not that. You know what I mean? Yes, it was banned at the time, but it was like, listen, bro, here's my evidence. You can release this to the media. Everybody's looking at you now. Release this to the media. And he didn't. It was when he failed a test. Instead of him digging into it concrete and getting the evidence that was handed to you, prove it, he didn't do that. It could have went a lot more different if he would have stepped up to the plate and said, this is what we have happened. But instead he just brushed it under the rug and kept it moving.
I see, man.
Interesting. Moving away from the kind of more physical boxing questions. So this is something I always enjoy asking Mata about in terms of like mentality. Like you are clearly quite fearless and brash and just say whatever the hell you want to say. Like, so what experiences outside of boxing shaped your mentality? What made you this way?
Oh man, I born in Brooklyn Hospital. I grew up in Belize. I lived with about 17 siblings growing up, cousins. And,
you grew up in Belize?
Yeah. Central America. One of my uncles, he was on a run from the military police in Belize, and he was hiding in Mexico for like 10 years. And he came back and told us a whole bunch of like cool tricks on, military stuff. So we was always tough and rugged, you know what I mean, growing up. So, when I came back to America, my mom had my little sister at the time, and I didn't grow up with my father. I grew up with my uncles and my cousins. Like that was like ride or die. You can't tell me nothing about my cousins and my uncles and my aunts, right? And my stepfather was really rough. I was getting my ass whooped a lot. He's, I would say, borderline abusive in many ways. You know what I mean? He come from a real Jamaican, ragamuffin background. You know what I'm trying to say? So it kind of took a toll on me, and it kind of made me bitter in many ways. Like my dad's not here, and I'm dealing with this. But as I got older, I kind of see from everybody's point of view, like, that's how my stepfather was raised, And I don't even call him stepfather, I call him dad, I call him pops, you know what I'm saying? I got two dads. I got a Haitian Dominican pops, and I got a Jamaican pops, you know what I'm trying to say? Because as I got older as a man, I kind of sympathize with how they were raised. And I kind of get it now. Because of him, I love to box. Because of him, I was got to Mike Tyson. Because of him, it's like, kiss me blood clot. You know what I mean? Like, I got that from, a lot of that from him too, so... I take it for what it is. It's rough, but always growing up fighting. You know what I mean?
You get a lot of street fights and school fights and stuff like this.
Oh my God, too many. Especially when I moved from Brooklyn to Queens. So I was born in Brooklyn, but I represent Brooklyn and Queens. My Queens dudes will get at me. I'm trying to say what I'm saying. But moving to Queens too, because I grew up in apartment buildings most of my life too, leaving from Belize, and it was like Queens is a house. I'm like, I don't want to live in a house, but you don't understand that a house is way better than an apartment building. You know what I'm trying to say? But it was just that mentality. It's like, man, I didn't like Queens. Like people in Queens were cocky. Everybody had Jordans. It was fresh. And I'm here with these Payless boots and people trying to crack jokes.
People in Brooklyn was a little more rugged.
Way more rugged.
People like
then.
in Queens was
a little more,
I get it,
more, a little more, casual, clean cut. And I'm like, man, forget this crap. I got to like 8 fights in like 4 months period, and my mom sent me to Canada. And that's when things in my life kind of changed.
You went to Canada. So how long you lived in Canada?
Almost 2 years. About a year and a half. I was in Victoria, British Columbia. Yeah, it was super. I mean, the total opposite of New York. I mean, it was so laid back. My cousins are half Caucasian, you know, so I'm like the little bodyguard going to school. And I'm just like, these people are just too nice. I'm like, oh, man, nobody, I'm not saying hi to nobody, but how you doing, bro? Your body hate me. Like, I'm just like, oh my goodness. After like about a month of this, I'm like, I can't be mad at people. Like, there were times I never went home. I'm eating breakfast at one friend's house, eating dinner at one friend's house, doing my homework. Like, it kind of changed me. You know?
Wow.
And I finally came back to New York, and it was like, oh my goodness, the light turned switch on. The first week I came back home, I was driving to my cousin's house down the block. I put my bike down on the corner to get a beef patty. My bike got stolen. My first week back from Canada, I was like, man, I'm back home, bro. This is
welcome back to America,
back home. And after that, it was like, all hell break loose. I was back in the fight every day. You know, and that's when I started picking up kickboxing. It's a funny story. You know, it's
crazy, bro. Yeah, you got a little interesting life, man.
Oh, it was so much, bro. So much. The book is going to be crazy one of these days.
Yeah, you got to release that book, bro. And a series as well, bro.
Super
We need that Netflix series.
You got to tell 50 he come direct it, you know what I mean?
What's your relationship? Because I think when I start seeing you on the scene, you was close to 50. Have a relationship with 50, right?
My 50 always come out to a lot of my fights, come support me. It's so funny. After one of my fights, he was driving through Rosedale, Queens, and me and my cousins outside, matter of fact, and we sitting down talking, and we see 50 drive by in like a white E-Class. Low key, he still live in the back of Rosedale. It was Hewlett Harbor. And we was like, yo, we know 50 be driving through here. So we see him in the car one time, and I jump in front of the car with my car. I had a Challenger. I'm like, so the shadow box, and he's like, I remember you was like, what up, man? Right? So we became mad cool after always, check on me. Came out to a lot of my fights, support me, him, Uncle Murder. Mano from New York. New York, like I said, it's my home. You know what I mean?
Real talk,
50 always tell me, man, use what I do, don't look at it as disrespect. Use it as an avenue. Just take it and run with it. And I was like, what is he talking about? But then I realized that him talking shit sometimes really not him talking. That's how he market. You know what I'm trying to say? I was really doing that. I already doing that. You know what I mean? There's a little beef that me and Deontay had, and he kind of threw it in social media, and that went viral. I'm like, oh, what if 50 do now? But it helped me move my shit a lot further because I'm like, that's right. So I was like, 50 said he. You know what I mean? Like, I kind of ran with it too, but I think certain things, certain things I realized. So you got to have some respect for it too, because it became a little more personal than I would like it to be. Because I like to keep it boxing between me and you fighting. I'm on that. I'm not thinking about your family. I'm talking about personal. Your kids. It's not that personal. It's me and you. We're two fighters. I want to punch you in your face, right? So, but. 50 kind of made it a little more personal than I would like to. But it's what it is, though.
Yeah, social media nowadays, though. Like, you know what I mean? I think Tyson says social media making it a lot of people feel comfortable now without getting punched. You know what I mean?
Comfortable.
Like, we grew up in a different time. Like, I would have never expected anything like this. But you got to catch yourself. Because you get emotional. You might be saying something. You might be talking to a 14-year-old kid with glasses and a computer. And you know what I mean? So you got to catch yourself, bro. I'll be editing many comments. I'm going to jail if I put that out.
Facts.
One of the things like with this show, so the podcast Always Lead to Saudi, it's about, basically bringing all the stars are coming here now and bringing their message to them.
Yeah.
So one of the things I wanted to ask you was, like 4 or 5 years ago, you had this obviously kind of difficult period.
Yeah.
Now, man, mashallah, you're on like one of the biggest boxing cards ever. So how do you handle adversity? Like, what kind of mental process do you go through?
So, I've always been a big person on faith. You know what I mean? Being married and, tired of Christian faith was never really for me per se, but I've had faith. I never believed in religion too much of a big thing. Like, I know there's one God, and I was praying. I always asked my grandmother for guidance. And, when that thing happened to me, I was like on the cusp of like big money. I already had like a mansion already and like 10 cars. I'm like, I'm not a big spender, but I'm a smart spender. So I'm like, all right, that's what I'm gonna do. Get this big fight out of the way, and the fight never happened. Then a year into that, I ended up getting a divorce, not being able to see my kids. And, I went to like the biggest depression ever for a little while. And I just got on my knees and started to pray, you know what I mean? And I remember something, the first time me and my wife had split up for a little while, I was in an Uber car going to family court. And the guy says, brother, can I play something for you? I'm like, his name is Rana. He says, I said, sure, man. He plays it. And it was the Quran.
Wow.
And I'm looking out the window, and I started bawling. And I don't cry. And I'm crying, bro.
Yeah.
And he turns around and said, brother, you're crying. I said, you're blessed. I said, bro, I don't know what he's saying, but this hurt me to my heart. He's like, man, I want to bring you to the mosque and, talk to my mentor, my elder man, and, help you out, whatever you need, man, don't worry about it.
Yeah.
And we talk, and to this day, he checks on me, and he texts us about 7, 8 years ago.
Way, bro.
And he checks on me, brother, how you feeling? I said, I'm good. And I always stuck in my mind, and one of my boxing coaches from time I was an amateur, he's also Muslim. And he's always pick me up 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning to go run, before I even have my first pro fight. He'll be here tomorrow. And I'm like, something about the Quran and the religion that always, kept me, how can I say it? I don't like the word humble. Because, humble means a lot different than what it really means, right? It kept me, grounded, I would say. It kept me retrospective into the now and not worry about the past, worry about the future, worry about the now.
That's
so
the
even
beauty
to this
of
day,
Islam, you know what I mean?
And even to this day, there's times when I'm stressed, I just put the Quran in the car and it kind of just calm me down.
That's dope, bro.
So, I tell Mutai what I was planning, and I told my mentor this. My coach, I was like, you know what? Let's do Shahada. He's been telling me for years.
He ready to become Muslim, bro. But he waiting for his coach to come because he was giving him dawah for many years, so he want to honor him with that. When a person become Muslim in the religion of Islam, when you accept your Shahada, all your sins forgiven. So you like a newborn baby. The good thing about Islam is that it doesn't mean that once you become Muslim, it doesn't teach us that we're gonna be perfect, because nobody's perfect but the Creator.
Correct.
We're gonna make mistakes. We're gonna even the Prophet Muhammad, he said, if the people did not sin, but this hadith doesn't mean we listen to it and say, okay, I'm going to the nightclub then.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He said if the people did not sin, Allah will erase these people and bring a new creation of people who sin and repent so that Allah can show his mercy. You know what I mean? So this is one of the things that we always have to realize, because a lot of time people be afraid to accept Islam because they think they can't, pray. They gonna make mistakes. We're gonna make mistakes regardless. Every Muslim make mistakes. We repent to Allah. We ask Allah to forgive us directly to Allah. He forgive us. You know what I mean? Right, when you hear this, the Quran made him cry. And when the brother said you blessed, meaning that Quran hit your heart. You know what I mean? Because if the Quran has an effect on the heart, that's a good sign. That means you have a live heart. You know what I mean? Some jokers listen to Quran, got to turn it off. They can't even listen to it. You know what I mean? It's that heavy on them. You know what I mean? So, man, just let me be there when you take a shot.
It's going to be, I think it's going to be tomorrow, Thursday, man, when he gets here. But
that's
man.
Dope, bro.
But dealing with my stress, man, just, staying grounded, man. Try to, get with my kids as much as I can. I'm an animal person. I have my 2 dogs and, jump in one of my cars and just go for a long drive, man, and just kind of clear my head. And you know what? And I'm a big believer in planning. I wasn't planning a lot before. It was just gym, fight, and then I worry about everything else in the road. And I realized now that time off, I have about 5 or 6 big whiteboards in my house, and I just write down some comes to my mind. I write it down. I learned from a couple of my billionaire friends too that write it down on the board and you look at it daily. And I kind of guide me back to the basics. I can get up in the morning. I'm gonna brush my teeth, take a hot shower. I'm gonna eat. I'm gonna go to the gym, and then from there take it. And I write it down on the board. And every day I get up and I'm like, I don't want to do nothing, but I gotta look at that board. As soon as I wake up, I get out of my bed, the board is in front of me. So little by little, I lose 5 pounds this week. I lose 10 pounds this week. I'm not gonna eat McDonald's this week. And I write on the board. I want Popeyes, I'll eat it this. I mean, so write little stuff down, and I believe that little wins add up to big wins. And that's how to just do it. Just get my mind back in the momentum. Like, okay, I'm a fighter. I'm a fighter. No quitting. No.
So the structure really benefits you.
It has to. It has to. And that's the thing about Islam too. Is like the structure. There's guidance there. It's a guideline for you to follow to help you. It's like you said. It's not like it's a do or die thing, but it's to help you and give you some fundamentals to get back on strategy. You know what I mean? I believe in that because nothing without consistency is not going to work. Every day you say, you know what? I'm gonna do a little bit every day. If I don't feel like doing running today, I do a Stairmaster. If I don't do push-ups today, I do some squats. Do a little bit of something every day.
You gotta be disciplined.
For sure.
That's why you see all the Muslim
Islam
fighters.
is a disciplined religion. Sorry about that.
No, all good, but this is what I was gonna say. Like Joe Rogan said this on his podcast, right? Like all these Muslim fighters from Chechnya, Dagestan, like that's why they have that
UFC
discipline.
fighters.
I know a lot of them. I train a lot of UFC guys.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, Usman Kamaru,
like good brother.
Tyrone Sprung. The last one he just won the other day in UFC. My man Jose knows him, man. We train up Stanford MMA and Henry Hoof. And that's one of my kickboxing coaches, so I'm there all the time.
But with Joe Rogan, I think he meant like when he went to did he go to Dagestan?
No, he didn't go, but he was just saying how all these Muslim fighters like just coming out
like
of
Khabib
whooping everybody butt.
Gym home family. Disciplined. Yeah,
gym home family. They ain't partying, they ain't hanging out, they're not smoking, they're not drinking. And that's what I'm trying to tell a lot of guys, like a lot of heavyweights. I don't party, you know. I have my little sip here and there once in a while, but you know, and I like to go to a lounge, hear good music, and relax, clear my mind. But I don't party like these guys. I don't do none of these narcotics these guys do. A lot of these heavyweights that you see in the camp, these guys out here partying hard. And if you look at them, we're all the same age, but they look a lot of them look a lot older. They're burnt out. So for me, I'm like, you know what? God gave me delayed gratification, maybe for a reason. Maybe I wasn't ready to get my blessing yet. Maybe I had to take a little step back. But now that I see how some of these guys' careers turned out, they got the money and the fame. Mine's is about to come. I want to stay a little bit longer than they have. I got some catching up to do. So guess what? I got to live my life as a Muslim. I got to live my life as a monk. I got to live my life and kind of separate from that because you know what? I want to be like a Bernard Hopkins, you know, early 40s and retire, have my bread, my brain intact, my body healthy.
It's an elite mentality, man.
And you know, that's that. Everything happened for a reason. Correct. Like, so by you saying you was delayed with certain things, you know, ain't no telling what you would save from. You know what I mean? Like I always tell people the best time of my life is when I hit rock bottom. A lot of people don't know that. Like when I left the music industry, I walked away when I realized I didn't want to make money from the music industry, so I gave up my publishing. I said, I can't be saying music, I don't agree with my music, but I'm eating off of it. You know what I mean? So I gave up the publishing. I hit rock bottom. I was like, I'm talking about, man, I used to lift up the pillows on the couches just to get changed, to get diapers for my son. But it was the best time of my life because it made me appreciate it. I remember I started hustling, made my first $100 and got a rental car. That joint was a hoopty. But I was happy, you know what I mean? Felt like I was riding in the Benz.
So who gets the royalties to Ambitions as a rider? All Eyes on Me, all these different...
It was a Jordanian homie from LA. Shout out to Ramsey, a Jordanian dude that I just sold my publishing to him. I said, look, I don't want nothing to do with it anymore. He gave me some, gave me a good lump sum. And then I lost stack. So I invested it with some brothers, you know what I mean? And so I hit rock bottom, but I look at it like it was... everything is a learning experience, you know what I mean? Everything happened for a reason. And then that me realized that, and now I don't really care about money that much. Of course, I want for my kids, I want for my family, but I went from being on 60 million record sales worldwide, living in gated community, $1 million homes in LA, to literally sleeping on my brother's floor. And a lot of people don't know when I was sleeping on my brother's floor, he was still hustling. So I'm in LA and I'm living with my wife, my covered up hijabby wife in his house. And I know he's bringing weight. This is when he was bringing weight. Like, so I'm like, damn, any minute the cops gonna kick the door in. I'm Muslim. I shouldn't be around this, but I had nowhere to go. You know what I mean? But it was one of the best times in my life. And it also let me know who friends are. Because I was hitting up jokers and hitting up people that I thought was there for me. Nobody came through. That's why I got a lot of love for Mike Epps. You know what I mean? A lot of love for Mike S because I got stuck overseas and I didn't even have money to get on an airline ticket to get back to America. I was in Abu Dhabi. It was my first time trying to move to the Middle East. So my son Muhammad was 6 months old and I'm calling people to even that owe me money. Nobody got it. Then I called Mike Epps, you know what I mean? I'm like, Mike, look, man, I need to just get some airline tickets to go back home. But as soon as I get there, I'm going to hit you back off. Give me a couple weeks. I just need a ticket for me, my wife. My son is 6 months old, so he don't need a ticket. He don't need a seat I'm in. So Mike hit me back like, look, man, I just got a ticket for you, your wife, and your son, and you don't got to pay me a penny back. So when I went back, you know what I mean? Mike he never really liked to tell his story, but I just like to show how good of a dude he is. I don't know if you ever seen Mike Epps. He always having a Pac bracelet that he had on All Eyes on Me. You know what I mean? You guys seen it when he had the W up, that Rolex bracelet. So that's what Pac left me. So I'm homeless at this time. So the only thing I had that was valuable was this bracelet. So I'm like, bro, I can hold on to this or I can feed my family. So I had to give it to Mike, man. I called Mike up. He bought it off me, of course. So I had to. And the dude is such a good dude that I seen an interview about 6-7 months ago. And he was like in the interview, like, yeah, I got the bracelet from Pop family. I'm going to give it back to them. So I hit him up like, bruh, if you going to get that to Pop family, I'll buy it off you because I gave it to you. What you mean Pop family? And he's like, nah, I just ain't want to put your business out there, tell people you was hurting. And he's like, I'm thinking about giving it back to you. But I was like, bro, I'm not taking it back. You bought it. that's yours. I'm not that type of person that's gonna say give it back.
Yeah, you got a
now
restaurant
you can get $1 million from it.
Yeah.
You know, they just sold up one of Pop Rings got $1 million.
Yeah,
So,
Drake got it,
but I
think.
told him, I said, bro, it's not the principle. I don't want it back. You bought it, but if you just gonna give it to somebody else, you better give it to the rightful owner.
You found out too, though, Jarrell, when you went through your difficult period, were people still like standing by your side, or they kind of disappeared?
No, very few. Very few.
Yeah.
But at the same time, so I'm a very private person too, so I didn't reach out to too many people either. My thing is like, let's still go ring my phone and check on me. You know what I mean? And the guys that's really here is my guys from my day one. You know, my cousin Kev, my trainer Sosa, you know, my trainer Mike, Jose. Like these are dudes, you know, that's been riding me from like day one. You know what I mean? So even to this day, my corner hasn't really got any bigger. It's just people that would hit your phone. I could do this for you. But, you know what I mean? Like I'm very family orientated too. So you know, I'm always hanging out with family, barbecues, we cooking and chilling. So I'm not really like an in the club person. Like
he's all Muslim, man.
He got he ready, bro.
The family oriented.
Like I said, I got everything. I got all the killers of my family ready. I don't know if you want to be around me. I'm trying to help them not doing that lifestyle. No more, you know what I'm trying to say? So for me, you know, I'm
that's important, man. When you make it, like you said, you don't want them to be in that lifestyle. A lot of times, you know, you might have family member that's older than you, but they're gonna look up to you because sometimes coming from the hood, when one of us make it, like now we're an example. We gotta really show how to not go back to that life. You know what I mean? Because and we learn from those that came before us. Like you have many people that had a lot of money and made mistakes. Like Death Row, for example, Suge the homie. He made $300 million. He had his whole crew on. His whole crew, once he fell, he went back. So I think it's important that you got people around them, you start teaching them the game.
Correct.
You know what I mean? You teach them the game. Real talk, they pick you up, man, because everybody back in the hood. You know what I mean?
Got a few more questions. I'm gonna let you
go for it.
It's 5 weeks, man.
Go for it.
So Jarrell, so I wanted to discuss about Saudi in particular. So obviously you see there's been a lot of events here recently. Like what do you think the future is of boxing in Saudi? Can they do more events?
I think they can definitely do more events. I mean, they're spending a lot of money. I mean, boxing is all about money, man.
Yeah.
That's one thing about boxing. You have the right stars and you have the right amount of money, you're going to get them. And then you have the right platform to get the pay-per-views and the buys. That's how you recoup your money and you got sponsorship. So I feel like they're definitely on the right path. You know what I mean? I know they're spending, like I said, a lot of money. Just putting the right team together to recoup that bread and you know, get the marketability out there, then they'll be fine. They'll be fine.
This fight, it's crazy. Like in terms of the
this like history, bro. I've never seen a card like that. The good thing about Saudi, like what you said, they can in Boston is about money.
Yeah.
I don't even think, and I could be wrong. Saudi might not even care if they recoup the money.
Yeah.
They just like they you know what I mean. They like to have a good time.
Correct. I heard some of their business plans for the future that by
they will get there.
2030, that they really want to have about 16 million people living in Saudi worldwide from all over the world. So I think they understand the transition from, you know, fossil fuel, from the gas and oil, that, you know, we have to go more into tourism, you know, and build a stable economy. So I think that's great. I think it's wonderful. You know, people always want somewhere to live with peace and, you know, opportunity.
Weather's good.
Weather's good. You know, I heard summertime down here.
Nah, the weather in the summer ain't good though.
Crazy.
I like it. But it's hot.
But what do you think overall of the place? Like walking around in Saudi, the people showing you love, like what is the overall feedback?
I mean, listen, I've been to many countries, and one thing I can say about it is very respectful. It's very peaceful. I don't feel like I have to walk looking over my shoulder for sure. You know, we're chilling, you know. So
that's what you said.
That's what I said. Like, when I first got here,
I'm in New York. Even when I'm home in New York, like, I got my chip on my shoulder. I'm looking over my shoulder, but when I'm like in Brooklyn, it's like I'm home. Like I ain't stressing nothing. You know, whatever.
House,
like, I kind of get it, but like if I'm in LA, it's like I'm on high alert. I'm in Miami, I'm on high alert. You know what I mean? So and in this place, I feel like I'm in Brooklyn, even though it's not Brooklyn. I feel like I'm at home already. I'm relaxed. I'm cool. I can, you know, whatever. Be myself. Just chill. You know. So
what about
super safe?
For in particular, obviously, the future should be ideally we see like Saudi champions, Qatari, Emirati, like in this region. What do you think needs to happen for champions to come from here?
Oh, the foundation from the ground up. They're gonna have to put a good amateur program together. Get some coaches from the States, you know, primarily. Teach them the swag, you know, teach them how to have that, you know, robust attitude in the ring. So like I said, it's all stuff from the basic, from the ground up. That's what the amateur program. They start dumping money into the amateur program. Within 10, 15 years, you'll have some, you know, really good guys coming up and start storming the scene.
Because they got the heart, believe it or not. You know what I mean? I always call Arabs light-skinned black people. You know what I mean? They remind me of the cousins from the hood, like back home. You know? I mean, when I first moved out here, it was an incident that it kind of threw me off because it's a very safe place.
Yeah.
But I moved out here 13 years ago, and it was an incident where a dude that I know from Philly got into it. And here, like, and knives was drawn, and I'm like, what? So I'm calling around trying to get a strap, because I'm like, I think I just moved from America to like a place, and I'm calling brothers like, I need a gun, and they like, man, are you nuts? They like, what are you talking about? I said, this happened. He said, but what happened? Did the guy start trouble? He said, yes. He said, one thing about this country, they're not confrontational people, but they would defend themselves, they would protect themselves.
Yeah.
He's like, man, some of the brothers been living here for 20-something years, and he like, man, the last place you need a gun is in Saudi Arabia. You know what I mean? But that American mentality had me
Like,
thinking, like, because I seen this. Yeah. But I noticed here, bro, you like living here for 13 years, like I said, you don't even have to look over your shoulders. You know, the woman, nobody's going to bother the woman if they outside at late. You know, you can sleep with your cars unlocked, your doors unlocked, literally, and you good. You know what I mean? And this is like what we missing back home. You know, you can go in the suburbs back home, and we can try to escape it, but still anything can happen back home, even in the suburbs, you know what I mean?
Right.
But Saudi's one of the safest places, bro.
That's cool.
So we got to get y'all to move out here.
Man, listen, man.
Where you living right now, though? So you living in New York?
Florida mostly.
Florida,
Back
okay.
and forth between Florida and South Florida and New York.
Would you consider moving to the Middle East, or because Badu Jack made the move? He left
Badu
Vegas.
Jack,
He
you know
left
Bobby
Vegas.
Jack?
He was in New York first.
Yeah.
Then he went to Vegas, and then he's in Dubai. My business manager is trying to get me my golden visa the next like month or so. So
that's dope.
But then
bro.
I have to be here for like 3 months. So he just landed in Saudi like literally an hour ago.
Dope.
He just bought a building in Abu Dhabi. Like 80-something floors.
Abu Dhabi also nice. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So I think
so he getting your visa. He's getting the visa for the UAE.
Yeah. He's
That's
getting
dope.
that done right
UAE
now.
dope.
So,
Yeah, of course.
You know what I mean?
I feel like I definitely would have a next spot here, but I can't sit still. That's one thing with me. I can't sit still, you know. So 2, 3, 4 months at a time, you know, I got ties in Romania as well, too. You know, I got some family in Romania, so I love Romania. You know, I got family in Belize. So I love traveling. So I think I have a house, definitely have a house.
You got family in Romania?
Yeah.
That's the most international guy.
Family or homies?
Family. Yeah. One of my aunts married a Romanian guy, so he
interesting.
International, bro.
Our guy's locked up over there, man. Andrew Tate, he's locked up over
there.
there.
He's out now.
He's out now.
He texted me a couple days ago too, man.
Oh, nice. You know him as well, yeah?
Man, he's cool. Yeah, he's cool guy.
Dope.
I like Romania, man. It's just
that's
one of my
amazing,
spots,
man.
But yeah, man, I like traveling, bro. I can't sit still too much.
What's your favorite country you would say you visited?
Man, I love Belize. You know, I'm Belizean,
yeah.
but I think out of everything so far, European wise or on this side of the world,
international, like,
I like Romania.
Really? Is that
The
different?
history. It's like culture, like here, the castles, and you know, kind of like, you know, the Romish Empire kind of feeling. But they have their own kind of vibe twist on it. It reminds me, Romania reminds me of the Brooklyn version of Europe. Yeah. It's exactly what it reminds me. Has some graffiti, has some, you know, his own style to it, his own flavor to it. You know, I've been to Austria, been to Germany.
You been?
I've never been to Romania, bro.
Yeah, so I've been to Romania, I've been to Austria, Germany, Kazakhstan, where else? Russia. Croatia, Japan, China,
all over, bro.
Japan's nice too, though. It's just too.
I heard they got dope culture. Japan.
Yeah,
you really kickboxing over there in Japan.
Yeah, they kickboxing over there in Japan. Japan was dope. Real respectful people too. They welcome you as well too. And I feel like anywhere I've went to, like, you know, it's all about respect, you know what I mean?
Real talk.
I think the German men were probably the roughest ones. Were like, because the women just love black men. That's the problem with them. They just hating over there. But I remember that they were cool. They were still cool though. But Austria is really dope too. I love Austria.
Beautiful place.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
I've been there.
I stayed out there for 8 times.
That's dope, man. When you travel, man, it open up your mind. You know what I mean? And you be able to deal with different culture. You start looking at the world differently.
Way different.
That's why it's good to get that passport.
Way different.
You know what I mean?
Passport bros, man. Get out of the city.
Yeah, you got to get that passport, bro.
Right.
Let's had a few general questions, Jarrell, just moving away from your specific career. I wanted to ask you, what's your view on like YouTube boxing? So we saw Jake Paul just knock out, is it the Andre August?
Okay.
So like, did you see that? And what do you think of this kind of arena?
My second coach name is Third. So Third is the head coach for Jake Paul.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, he'll be here in a couple of days, another day or two. Nice. So I have plenty of time to sit down and talk to Jake. Yeah. At first, I'm like, YouTube dudes, I'm not really buying it, But after watching, you know, Jake train, he spends a lot of money in his training camp.
Yeah. He take it seriously.
Really hard. And he can punch. He can really crack. So, I mean, despite what we say about this guy, he wants to fight. He's putting time in the fight,
Yeah.
and he's brought a lot of eyes to boxing, which is helping other guys.
Yeah.
And he's also did something from one of our local sisters from the Bronx, is Serrano.
Amanda Serrano,
You know,
yeah.
female fighter that wasn't getting her due, and she's making millions now because of him. So you gotta love and respect the guy, and he's actually trying to help boxers. Where you have other fighters in the boxing game that's make millions, haven't done shit for boxing. Which you know, a white dude that has nothing to do with boxing, who's helping boxers of all
Same
color.
with UFC too. He calling out everybody, Dana White, everybody saying.
You know, and he did a deal with PFL and with our friends Nagano as well too. So he's a good dude, man. I'm nothing but love and respect for the guy.
I like him too. He came. We met him. Obviously, he came for the fight. Who did he fight? He fought Tommy Fury, but we met him for a different fight.
I forget. I think he was here for some WWE. His brother, a wrestler. Yeah,
the brother, the wrestler.
No, really good guy, Michelle.
Yeah, he's a good dude, man. He's a good dude.
So you like? So do you think it helps grow the sport of boxing?
Oh yeah, 100%. If more people, I think a lot just been packed up. You know, a lot of YouTube guys hit me. Yo, can I come train with you? I'm like, bro, I'm a camera guy. I'm like, but I'm not that kind of camera guy. Like, I'm not like the flashy, you know, for clout chasing. It's not my thing. So I'm not pushing off to other guys to go train them and stuff like that. But I think it's great. I think it's great for the sport. More people watch it.
I think he take it serious though.
No, he takes it very serious.
You know what I mean?
He's not as a YouTube guy just trying to do for YouTube.
He's really trying.
He really want to be a champion one day.
You think he can? No, I was going to ask you that.
I think he definitely can. I mean, but boxing is all about who you fight, style make fights. You know what I'm trying to say? And he's on the right. He's on the. If you look at his record of who he's fought, he's doing it the right way. You know, it taking probably 2-3 years, but he's still young and he's doing it the right way. He can definitely build the experience that he need to be a champion for sure. You know, I mean, that's boxing. Any given day can be somebody's lucky day. You know?
He got a crazy knockout reel too. Like I know some of the guys weren't boxers as such, but you still got to do the business, right?
Still, regardless, knockout's a knockout. You get in the ring, you sign the paper, boy.
Yeah, boy. Tyron Woodley.
You gotta respect anybody that get in the ring because it look easy, man. But if you ever hit the heavy bag, bro, you hit the heavy for 1 minute, you be like, man, I'm out. Now I see why people get shot. You do 1 minute, you ready to retire, bro.
Forget this shit.
Amazing, man. I just got a couple last questions just to finish up. So I was looking at the rankings. So you're, if I'm not mistaken, number 6 with the WBA, right?
Correct.
So is that your route to a title? Like, what is the plan for you?
So, you know, before everything happened with me, I was ranked number 1 in all the sanctioned bodies.
Oh, yeah.
I was number 1 WBA, number 1 the IBF, 1 WBO. The one I was ranked was WBC because they had just a bunch of haters. But now the WBA is the closest one right now, only because, you know, I've boxed on some of their special cards. So I get special like drug-free cards and something for like community and stuff like that. So I boxed a couple of cards to help you get ranked quicker and it gets you notified a lot faster. But once I knock out Dubois, I'll be in all 3 for sure.
How does it work exactly? So from what I saw, Dubois number 7, you're number 6.
Yeah.
I forgot the guys above you. I think Makhmudov might be above. So like if you fight him, do you then go above him? Like how does it work?
You take his spot.
Okay.
You take his spot. But
who's number 1 right now?
I think they just moved Deontay to number 1.
And Char, right?
Yeah, and Char's a champion. So I was just fight Char in the summertime.
Yeah.
And the Nigerian investors we had didn't come through the way we wanted to. So we kind of went a different direction. But I think that fight can still happen for February or March.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, so by me knocking out Dubois, two top 10 guys fight each other, we moved to like 1 and 2 spot. So once I knock him out, even though he's 6 or 7, I'm 5 or whatever it is right now, I knock him out. I can actually push Deontay out of the way.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
So will you go the other route as well? You know, like WBC, would you fight?
Yeah, eventually you're gonna go in there. But the quickest thing you want to do is get to any belt. You get to one belt, the other belts will follow quick.
They'll come, right?
So you don't want to. You gotta have a plan.
Yeah.
I was just beating everybody ass. I was number 1 across the board. I'm like, give me anybody. You know, that's how I was did it. Right? Give me a name. I just didn't turn it down. I was smoking them. So now I gotta be.
Now you got a plan.
I gotta be a little more strategic now. Like, all right, this guy's busy. Who else is next? This guy's here. You know, plus the money got to come out too. Because I was gonna say, fuck it, I'll take this amount of money. Just give me the damn guy. And guys was like, oh, he still want to fight, and they didn't want to fight. I'm like, see, it's not about the money. It doesn't want to fight. They try to scare you by giving a little bit of bread. He's not gonna take that fight. I'm like, give me the fight. Nah.
So just to end on this, so what do you hope 2024 brings to you? Like, do you aim to fight how many times? Who do you hope to fight? Like, what do you think?
I want to fight at least 4 times next year.
4 times in 1 year?
Wow. World championship fight. I stay busy, man. You know, like I don't take damage in training. You know, a lot of guys get beat up in training. You know, I think the most damage I take sometimes is in my fights, and sometimes I stop guys, so I don't take that much damage. So I think staying busy, you know, next year is my main plan. You know, big money fights and get to a world title. You know, fight for a world title because I feel like it's definitely going to happen. I feel like my number's going to get called because I'm just that guy. You know, there's only 2 Americans that anybody care about is me and Deontay at this point.
True,
you know, that's really what it is.
The 2 names coming out of heavyweight in the
you know what I mean? So I feel like once I get this win, another win, we're gonna be right in that talks. And we're already in the talks ready, but people just want me to fight to, it's Big Baby still there. That's all. It's not like they don't want me to fight for championship. It's like we want him to fight championship, but we want him to earn that spot one more time real quick. That's all it is, man. It's like,
that's a busy year though, with the training camps and 4 fights. That's your whole year, basically.
Yeah, but I'm cool with that. I've been, like I said, it's so funny because the two
mentality he's there.
The 2-3 years that I took off, I've been training in fights since I was 14, 15. Amateur kickboxing, I went from pro kickboxing 19, I was fighting boxing, then back to pro kickboxing. So I've nonstop been fighting. So the 2-3 years that I took off was like, maybe it was a blessing in disguise again. Like I keep saying, like, I ain't take no damage. I'm not a heavy person on sparring like that. Like, a lot of my boys, some of them are kind of punchy a little bit because they spar and train in a way where they're not doing it properly, and they get into a fight, they get hurt again, and they come back and spar again. No. I'm a martial artist.
Training smart so you don't take damage.
Smart. Yeah, you gotta train
you're intelligent, bro. So like,
clearly,
you know what I mean? Like you thinking right, you're intelligent. And I don't say that in a disrespectful way, but most boxers don't be having no plan. They just, you know what I mean? They
100%.
just, so hearing you talk and even about your future and about the business, this is important.
I actually have one more question. Sorry, I know that was the last one. Because my dad touched on something. So I'm always curious because obviously we're not in this industry, like in terms of professional athletes. What do, yourself, if you don't want to answer for yourself, other athletes, how do they manage business? Like,
so one thing that
they lose a lot of money.
Your manager do it. Like,
one thing I learned about boxing is that you think the music game is dirty? I have cousins that rap, sound busting or coming, and they got nothing on boxing. At least in the music, you have some kind of fame, you have some kind of publishing if you're smart with it. In boxing, the minute you fight, if you didn't figure out that paperwork before, that's all you get is that check. In a couple of years, if you brain dead or hurt.
Yeah, because there's no royalties in boxing.
There's royalties on the promotional side if you have a network that wants your footage for your fight. But how many times people really want to replay a video of a fight to replaying a song?
Yeah, it's different.
So you really want to have promotional rights on your own fight, right? Yeah. So you got to get that signed with the promoter you're with. Like, I'm in a promotional dispute now. You know what I mean? And I'm dealing with, I always got 2 more fights. He's trying to hold on to me for another fight. Yeah. He's a you know what I mean? But I learned through my trial and error how to get him out of the way. It's just that the paperwork is so, he wins this fight, he get another fight, and they get an extension on it.
Yeah, that's it. Them sneaky clause that they put in there. That's how a lot of people get messed up in the music industry.
But that's what I guess you were saying. The good thing with Eddie Hearn, like he's honorable in that way, right?
Yeah,
in terms of his contracts.
But he's not going to handle your business per se. He's going to have people with your boxing career, correct? Yeah. Outside of that, I feel like fighters should definitely invest more in real estate. And I'd say real estate is the best thing because you don't leave your money in the bank because, of course, inflation, the whole nine. Real estate is a great vehicle to park your money in because you're focused on fighting. Yeah. So you can't be in a mom and pop shop or, have a burger joint or work in a gas station or laundry. So you need to have something that's going to be making you money, but you don't have to watch it all the time. You can hire somebody or house development person to watch your property. So I think real estate is always a great avenue. You park your money there. Yeah. You take your dividends.
He's the real estate man right here, Shane.
You know what I mean? You do that, buy 1 or 2 rental properties every fight. Yeah. By the time you have 20, 40 to 100 doors, and that's just giving you rent every month, and then God forbid something happens now, you want to sell a property. Yeah. Of course, you got some equity in that, and you can do that. I think risk is a great vehicle for fighters because I don't got to sit there and watch it.
That's intelligent, bro. You know what I mean? At least you're thinking the right way.
About doors and stuff, he knows what he's talking about, bro.
He's the real estate man, bro.
No. Just like a side business.
Oh, yeah, come on.
But I'm always curious because obviously fighters, not fighters, any athlete, I guess, a lot of them come from difficult backgrounds, no real formal education, so I'm always interested.
I would say people from the hood.
You know what I mean?
Bro, I would just say coming from the hood, we never really was taught financial, and then all of a sudden we come with a bunch of money. We don't really know what to do. Like most rappers, as soon as they get money, they get a car and jewelry that they put these people that they purchase it from. They put this price tag on the jewelry. This stuff really not worth nothing.
Not worth nothing.
You know, so you know what I mean. But it's good that you're thinking that way because it's important to invest.
I got 2 properties ready. You know what I mean. And I also a lot of people also see me with I have a lot of cars. Had Lambos and Maseratis and all kind of great shit. But I've always gotten cars. Come back to my Jamaican pops. He was a car dealer. So I always fell in love with cars and fighting. So I always had 12 cars. I have like 5 cars still now. Yeah. But I always got cars that hold value. Like, God forbid something happen, I could sell this and get some of my bread back. So it's not me just buying cars with cash. You go to auctions, you get classic car, muscle cars, cars you can park up. Hey, it's gonna be 10 grand. I can drive it once in a while, but it's still money that can I can flip. So
that's smart.
I feel like you always gotta do something. And plus, but when you want to hide your money, You know, I have a good thing about it too. When you get a divorce woman, all that, put your name with the cars. You know what I'm trying to say? You trying to get divorced in America, put it into a car, put the title in one of your family member names. You can't get that shit either. So I always learned of always, you know, protecting myself and having a safe.
We're gonna edit this one out because we don't want them to come and say they might cut half of that car off. Americans are crazy.
But it's interesting because the perception of you would be this brash fighter, but you're clearly a deep thinker.
Oh, no.
Now, you're intelligent is good that, you know what I mean? Because, like you said, deep thinker, man, in our industry, in this industry, the music indry, most of the time, we only think for today.
You know what I mean? I realize, you know, boxing is the beginning. It's not the end. You know, like I'm looking at acting after my career is over in boxing. You know, politics after my career is over in boxing.
Politics?
Yeah, I got a little.
Sean did it. He's from Belize, bro. Go run against Sean.
I'm gonna go a different avenue what he's kind of doing, but yeah, for sure. I mean, there's a lot of things that I've been working on. You know, planting my seeds in. You know what I mean? But
that's dope.
Yeah,
man.
boxing. You know, boxing is only for a short period of time. You can't get punched half hour. This shit is dangerous. You know, but you know, but I feel like where I'm at right now, it put me in a position to talk about, you know, how I reformed myself or how I dealt with, like you said, my adversity and dealing with snakes in the grass and just coming up with educational programs to help the kids behind me. You know, so I'm working on that as well too, you know.
Dope, bro.
Nah, it's amazing, bro. Inshallah, I wish you much success, man, for 2024 and beyond.
Appreciate for coming on the show, man. You know what I mean?
Beef briskets on him again. You
know?
100%, all day.
You got a new place. Go to the new place. Is it open now, yeah?
He can't eat no bread. The new place, we got the sandwiches. They still could come, though. You know what I mean? But he like the ribs and the sliced briskets,
yeah,
bro.
the sliced briskets, boy.
Y'all can go right after this. Shout out to Smokey Beard.
Smokey Beard, man. Shout out Saudi Arabia.
No, but thank you, though, man. Inshallah, I wish you much success. And thank you so much.
Man,
all good.